Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return to F1 22. Yes, for you guys it hasn't been a long time. Of course, if you missed out on the My Team video that went live yesterday, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But I'm now officially back from Switzerland, of course. A massive thank you to all of you for the insane support on the announcement. Of course, we've now joined Sauber as an esports content creator as well. Alfa Romeo Formula 1 team, all in esports there. So yeah, I cannot thank you guys enough for all the insane support on that announcement. You know, we've got a lot of cool things coming in the future as well. But yeah, today we're going to be jumping back, and of course, you know, I take a week away from F1 22. And quite possibly one of the biggest updates of the year drops. Yes, we've finally got access to the F2 2022 cars, of course. I've been quite surprised. I actually haven't seen many videos on these cars at all. You guys know, if you've been a long-time subscriber to the channel, that I absolutely love the F2 cars. So I am going to officially confirm now there will be a career mode dropping at the end of this week from these cars. So if you want to see that, please make sure you get yourself subscribed as well for daily F1 22 content, even I should say. Of course, at the moment, we've ticked over 85,000 subscribers. We're getting very close to 90k. Of course, the big goal by the end of the year, 100,000 subscribers. So if you can help me get one step closer, it would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, let's jump in then. F2 2022. I'm not going to confirm who we're going to be driving with just yet. I'm going to leave that as a nice surprise for when that series does drop at the end of the week. But yeah, we're going to jump out though. We're going to race these cars around a track that actually they won't feature in the F2 2022 Championship. Of course, you can have a look at the 14 race calendar that we will be doing in the not too distant future there. Bahrain, Saudi, Imola, Spain, Monaco, you know, Azerbaijan, Silverstone, Austria, France, Hungary, Belgium, the Netherlands, Italy, and of course finishing the year out in Abu Dhabi is a pretty decent calendar, if I do say so. But yeah, we're going to take these cars to Miami today. Of course, yeah, not featuring on the F2 calendar. So some are a bit fun, some are a bit different. And I've genuinely got no idea who we want to drive with. Now, I was really hyping up Dennis Hauger going into the F2 2022 season. Didn't quite live up to the hype. Sadly, I can't actually look at all of the liveries there, because of course we all know in F2 the drivers have completely custom liveries from their teammate. But I'll have a quick look through each of the cars nonetheless. They can see we've got the UNI Virtuosi. The Carlin car is basically Dennis Hauger's once again. They're of course all Red Bull Junior backed drivers, of course, in 2022. And it's also been the first year where I've actually been able to watch quite a bit of the F2 campaign as well. There, as we have a look at Marcus Armstrong's high-tech car there as well. ART, they normally run, yeah, the silver and red paint scheme there. Of course, Fred Vesta's car currently on our screens. Then we've got Felipe Drugovich, of course, with the orange MP Motorsport car. Of course, champion now, Felipe Drugovich in 2022. Ran a brilliant campaign all season long. Here's the Campos. I think this is going to be, I'm not too sure who's this. It must be Ralph Boschung's teammate. But I can't quite tell or remember off the top of my head there. That one is definitely Roy Nassani's Dams car, of course, with the Israeli-backed car there. And, of course, a Williams junior driver as well. Trident. Again, I can't remember quite off the top of my head who drives this car, but still a very interesting paint scheme on this one. That might be... I'm trying to think. I don't think it's Fittipaldi. I might be wrong on that one. That's Fittipaldi's car, of course, down at Charouz. So yeah, again, a very interesting paint scheme on that one. Kind of reminds me, actually, of the Sauber car from a few years ago, of course, when they had Felipe Nasr, in the car. And then the Van Amersfoort racing car as well, of course, the newest team to the F2 2022 season as well, of course, with a few different drivers over the course of the campaign. So I think today we're gonna, I reckon we'll go with reigning champion. We'll race as Felipe Drugovich for our first time in the F2 2022 cars. Let's head trackside then, Miami Grand Prix time. Let's see how these things get on. Right, well, here we are then, back in Miami, of course. First time I've raced around here in a little while. But yeah, got to make sure, I've got no idea what we want to be doing with setups today. So I'm going to try and follow fairly sort of what I do with the F1 cars on F1 22. It's not always the best idea in these F2 cars. But of course, you've got the old wing concepts, everything like that. I do think, if I remember correctly, I'm basing some of this on F1 2021. You don't actually run a completely 50% brake bias here. But yeah, this is legitimately my first lap of the F2 cars on F1 22. And of course, I haven't raced the game in a week as well. So things are about to get quite interesting. Just got to remember, of course, to brake early into the braking zones. Now, I'm not expecting to qualify any higher than P20, but the steering, whoa, it feels very, very different to how I remember these cars felt on the previous games. As, yeah, it feels like you've really got to tip them in a whole lot earlier there. Perhaps I'm just forgetting how these cars drive, but they also feel very, very light in comparison to recent years. So I'm going to have to try and have a look, see if I can tweak my force feedback slightly, because yeah, that is an incredibly light feeling car there. You can see I've got so much play in the steering rack there, and we're a second away from Jack Doohan already as we head down the back. Well, it's not really a straight throughout the most part, but down the fastest part of the circuit, of course, either this or the bypass, braking just before the 100-meter board there. And I mean, we haven't ran horrendously wide anywhere, I've done anything like that just yet, but yeah, the car certainly does feel very, very different to how I was expecting it to, especially at the low speed. You've just got no sort of feeling there as we make the curbs through the end of the tight technical section there. Or do not want to hit that curb ever in these cars as we head out onto the back straight then. But yeah, very, very different feeling to how I was expecting here as we head down in towards the final few corners of the lap. We're a long, long way away from Jack Doohan at the moment, but of course, first lap in these cars, we were never going to jump in and immediately be incredible. As yeah, the steering rack at low speed feels super, super light there. Out of the final corner up towards the start-finish line, we are going to be down in last place, or a good couple of seconds away. But that was quite an eye-opening experience. I suppose we better get into it, Miami Grand Prix, but I'm definitely just going to try and make a few tweaks quickly before we jump in. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like.
And we're back for today's second sprint race. We've reversed the top 10 on the grid and the drivers are almost set. This is looking to be a thrilling conclusion to the end of day one. 8 rights and 11 left turns make up the Miami International Autodrome. The Formula 2 drivers can expect to see long straightaways with average speeds of 138 miles per hour on this 3.36 mile track. As we're now moments away from the off, let's take a look at the grid order in which they'll start today's race. A fantastic effort from Jack Doohan yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Liam Lawson alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Daruvala, Iwasa, Enzo Fittipaldi, and Sato, Vips, Vesti, Sargent, Teo Porcher, Verschoor, Armstrong, Dennis Hauger, Hughes, Bullock-Passy, Williams, Novalak, Amory Cordial, Caldwell, Nissani, Boschong, and Felipe Drugovich completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's get down to the track.
Right, well here we are then, on the grid, ready for this F2 race, and I have got no idea what to expect here, because apparently they're going to make it even more difficult, and they're going to be doing this one in the rain. Now, a little bit more confused, I don't know how Tim Amardik has been granted access to the grid here, but yeah, starting in last place then for this F2 race. You can't even decide how much fuel you've got, we've got no idea of race strategy or anything like that, so it might dry up. We genuinely just don't know. I've whacked up my force feedback to pretty much the maximum it will go, so we'll wait and see if that makes much of a difference here, but I think we are just jumping right into it. Of course, I'm so used to a formation lap on this game, but 5 red lights, and it is going to be lights out, and away we go. Try and avoid the wheel spin as best as possible there, as the F2 cars a lot better to launch off the line than the F1 cars, as we head down in towards turn 1. Got our teammate Clement Novalak just in front of us. Oh yeah, that force feedback immediately down at turn 1 feels a whole lot better there as we try and navigate our way around the outside of Ralph Boschung. Ooh. Or we won't. that was always going to happen. Right, let's try this again then. 5 red lights here in Miami. Of course, we just got to try and settle into it. Luckily, this isn't a career mode race. There has got to be so careful of the anti-stall in these F2 cars. If you're anything less than about 70% on throttle, they will just bog down as you head down in towards turn 1 once again there. Second time's the charm and all that. But yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll just sit in the back this time around and see if we can just make it through. Of course, F2, for those of you that have never watched it, doesn't actually have the intermediate tyres. You've either got full wets or the dry compound. So if the track does clear up today, it is going to be quite interesting as to when we can try and make the switch here as we navigate our way through the first sector. No progress made just yet, but of course now we can have a look at the inside of a couple of cars there, or Ollie Caldwell is just going to turn in on me off the exit of the corner. He's of course had a interesting F2 season, I think we'll call it. Probably made the switch from F3 maybe one season too early, but maybe next year, if he's re-signed to a team once more, he can try and have a bit of a campaign there as we just squeeze out Roy Nassani, who I think now has confirmed that his time in F2 is up after about 5 seasons, if I remember off the top of my head there. But as we head now through the tight, twisty, technical middle sector, yeah, this force feedback, whoa, definitely feels a lot better there, as apparently there's a car park down in the middle sector of Miami. This is quite fun, but we've rather cheekily, I suppose, gained some places there, and I got a 2-second time penalty for contact with Amory Cordial.
Okay, we've been given a time penalty.
Okay, I guess we're going to have to try and race around that then throughout the rest of the afternoon. I didn't feel like I'd done anything untoward there, but not going to complain to the stewards, as yeah, got to be careful down the straights there. Of course, feedback definitely does come alive, but yeah, like I said, you know, I always enjoy racing these F2 cars as Jack Doohan leads the way at the end of lap 1. They're still going to be super careful though on the throttle. They're not quite as bad as the F1 cars in F122. They always used to actually feel a lot worse than previous years, but of course with the lack of downforce now on F122, especially at low speed, yeah, the F2 cars now feel a lot less of a handful than they have done in recent years. There, you definitely still cannot take loads of curbs in a lot of places, especially sort of the high up curbs. Got to be really careful of as we now tip it down in towards the S's once again. I feel like now I'm getting used to the front end. It does feel a lot more responsive again. You know, perhaps it's just, you know, I haven't played the game much over the last week or so. So yeah, just trying to get dialed back in. Everything like that there is still got to be really careful in the rain, of course. But yeah, I know exactly who I'm going to be racing with for our little F2 career. But of course, if you've watched the seasons we've done in the past, I think we are initially, if I remember all the way back, I think the first season we ever did was 2018. Yeah, we did 2 seasons with Mick Schumacher, didn't we? As we ran horribly wide down at the hairpin, of course. And then last game, we did a season with Oscar Piastri. So, of course, we've always done it with Prema drivers prior to now, but I'm going to say it right now, it will not be a Prema driver that we will be competing with this season. We are going to be mixing it up and racing with someone different. I mean, it's a very popular driver still, but I feel like I might be starting to give a little bit too much away here, as this Miami feature race, only 9 laps long. It's actually quite a short affair here, as trying to keep up with Amory Cordial. And if you can't keep up with Cordial, I think you probably are in quite a world of hurt there, because he certainly did not have a particularly strong F2 campaign last season there, as Liam Lawson sets a new fast lap. Of course, still plenty of drivers in the fight for the top 3 overall in the championship. Of course, Felipe Drugovich has got it completely locked out, but there are still plenty of battles going on behind him in F2 at the end of 2022 as we thread our way onto lap 3. Feel like we're starting to get a bit more used to the car. They're just trying to find the limits of grip and adhesion as well. Of course, you know, these cars do take a little bit of getting used to. You know, they are still a very different driving experience to any F1 car on the F1 games, but I would highly recommend always when the F2 cars drop, giving them a go. I am also actually going to be competing in an F2 League. I'm going to be trying to upload videos from that over onto my second channel. I want to say it quickly as well, actually a massive thank you to all of you for getting that channel up and over 2,000 subscribers. Of course, that has been really good, and I apologise that there's been no content over there over the last few days, but I'm going to be trying just to open that channel up a little bit more. Like I said, we'll have some F1 League racing, we'll have more iRacing, I want to do some Gran Turismo 7, and then maybe even some ACC and R-Factor. Now I've found a much more efficient way of recording videos, as that is pretty aggressive over the curbs, but you know, you got to do it. You got to do it early on in these races. Now is now all over the back of Amory Cordelia. I'm starting to remember the third gear shift up you need to do in these F2 cars there. That is the key to pace and grip there, as I've still got to remember not to take my hands off the wheel as we go down the straight. Sorry, I apologise if you can hear that on my microphone. Whoa, Cordelia there a little bit early on the brakes. I'm guessing everyone just a little bit scared of running into each other down at the end of the straights. But yeah, you know, just want to do a bit of a quick other little channel update as well, as there we go, new fastest lap of the afternoon, of course. Yeah, been away over the last couple of weeks, obviously out in Switzerland. Been very, very good fun. Like I said, I've got a few more things and videos that I'm going to be working on from there that I think you guys are really, really going to enjoy, of course, with our esports drivers. You know, Danny, Nico and Tomek. Oh yeah, really, really funny guys to work with as well, and they're of course so dedicated as well. You know, the level in F1 esports nowadays is ridiculous. But yeah, we had a good week. You know, Nico scored points in all 3 races. Tomek went from last to 10th as well in Zandvoort. Had a fantastic drive. I really do want to show the lap 1 from that, because yeah, Tomek 20th to 10th in 1 lap at Zandvoort was absolutely incredible. It was a chaotic start to the Dutch GP, but yeah, like I said, you know, we're going to be hopefully working on a few more bits and pieces here and there as well. But of course I have as well, you know, been keeping up with comments whilst I've been away. I do hear you loud and clear. I do understand you do want to see more F1 My Team career mode as well. So I'm really going to try and work hard now on trying to sort of push that series forward, you know, trying to give you guys a few more videos from that as well. Of course, you know, we've got so much going on at the moment, of course, like I said, now working with Alfa Romeo, F1 team, all in esports. Of course, you know, we've got My Team career mode, we've got the Haas Road to Glory, the finale of that will be going live this week. That then might take a little bit of a step onto the back burner for a little while. We've then also got the end of our F1 Manager career mode, as we're going to have a look at the inside of Cordelia, just so I get the car slowed down nicely in towards that final corner. So yeah, we have got plenty of things going on at the moment. I'm going to keep trying to work to make sure you guys get a fair share of content across the board. Of course, the podcast as well. I'm still really enjoying that with Jamie, and of course, as we get towards the off-season in the not-too-distant future, we're going to work on a few fun things with that series. So yeah, there's plenty going on at the moment across the board, and I'm really, really excited. You know, as we're getting towards the end of the F1 season, of course, Max Verstappen now crowned as world champion. Of course, there's probably a little less hype and interest in what is going on in real Formula 1. Of course, I'm sure we'll see quite a few people check out of it. We haven't quite got the dramatic season finale that we saw last year, but yeah, we're still, of course, going to be making content based around that. But yeah, I am trying to listen to you guys. Like I said, you know, I'm going to try and get my team out a little bit more over the next few weeks. I think the next race we've got from that series is out at Silverstone, British Grand Prix, of course, after the interesting Canadian GP last time, and of course the heartbreak at the end of that race. For those of you that watched it, you'll know exactly what I'm on about. So yeah, we're going to try, like I said, get back into that series. I'm going to try and sort of keep it 2, 3, 4 times a week if I'm lucky. You know, it really does depend on how other content does fit out. And of course, like I said, you know, we've got so many other projects that we're working on at the moment. I really don't want to try and lose the quality from that series. There is, can we now try and get a run on Chembolabassi, of course. Yeah, didn't quite make it to the end of the F2 2022 campaign. Obviously had a tough season, but still, you know, from where he's come from, you know, I'm doing a lot of sim racing over recent years, still was a very, very sort of compelling and interesting story. There is around the outside of Chem down at the final corner, not quite able to make it happen this time around. As Jack Doohan there going even faster, Fred Vesti improving as well. Are we going to do the same? Yes, we do. Another new fastest lap of the day there, so we are doing incredibly well. At the moment, as soon as I say that, almost lock up into the back of Chem down at turn 1. Just got to be a little bit careful through there. But yeah, I am trying to read all the comments. You know, I am trying to get you guys more and more content, of course, from what you want to see as well on the channel. So yeah, it is greatly appreciated. The support we've had this year has been mind-blowing. You know, 12 months ago, This channel had like 18,000 subscribers, so the fact we're getting close now to 90k is absolutely insane. I'm really looking forward. It's only October, but I am starting to look towards 2023 as well, and we've got plenty of other series and content ideas that I can't wait to bring you all as well. There as we head down the back straight. Are we now actually going to be able to have a look for a move on Chem here? Who's gaining in the slipstream. Haven't been as confident here, and that... Oh, we get it slowed down, apparently. We've got the inside of the next corner, and that was a very, very aggressive move on Chembol at Bassi, but it will promote us into P15 of this race. Of course, we've got that penalty still. Still not too sure how we ended up with that, but yeah, we have got that penalty still in this race. So I think if we can try and get points in theory, then I'll be quite happy there. But I think there's a bit of a gap ahead of Dennis Hauger just up the road. As once again, purple through that middle sector, despite the rather ragged run down in towards one of the biggest braking zones of the lap, heading into one of the other big braking zones of this lap. Though I do definitely feel like we're building up confidence in this car, and we will be ready to start our F2 career mode out in Bahrain at the end of the week there. I'm going to try and keep the format similar to how I've done in the past, but to be honest, the real-life F2 campaign in 2022, the way they've sort of tweaked the calendar again, actually makes videos a whole lot better to try and record, because for those of you that were around the channel last year, you'll remember, of course, that F2 in 2021 had 3 races. So we'd always end up doing, I think it was qualifying and the feature race in one video on a Friday, and then we do a sprint on a Saturday and a sprint on a Sunday. Luckily now, of course, it's been changed around, so you do qualifying on a Friday night, of course, in real F2, then the sprint on a Saturday, and then, of course, the feature on a Sunday. So I'm going to do qualifying and the sprint on the first video, which will go live on Saturdays, and then we'll do the feature race on a Sunday there. So it should be sort of the videos are a bit more balanced, they kind of feature a similar level of content as well, of course, and that is going to be really, really good fun. Obviously, we'll get qualifying out of the way, we'll know sort of where we're going to be ready for the feature race, and of course then we'll know how hard we have to work during the sprint race prior to it, of course, when the top 10 on the grid is reversed. So I think, yeah, we are going to have a lot of fun with that. I would argue that the Oscar Piastri season we did last game was probably one of the most fun career modes I've ever done. I would highly recommend going back and checking out. It really did lead to a lot of growth on the channel as well there, because the racing in F2 is just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, really am getting quite hyped, of course, when I saw that the new F2 cars had been unveiled on F1 22. I was like, yep, we are immediately going to be jumping into that as soon as possible. There's up the inside of Jay Hughes. Beautiful little send there. Get it slowed down on the apex, similar to the move we pulled off on Max Verstappen in the My Team career mode just a couple of weeks back. But yeah, now up into P14 of the day. Not quite new fastest lap once again, but the track is definitely drying out here, as we've got just 2 laps to go, as Jay Hughes trying to look back at the inside down at turn 1 there. But yeah, can we try and get past Dennis Hauger with just a couple of laps to go here? Like I said, that 2-second penalty is going to completely nerf us into the ground, but I have certainly had a lot of fun with this F2 car nonetheless. It feels so good to be coming back to these things once more. And like I said, there is going to be plenty more F2 content, like I said, either on this channel or over on my second channel. If you want to, I know I get so many comments from you all as well, sort of saying, I need to go back into league racing and things like that. And like I said, I have been trying. Of course, it's been difficult to try and dedicate, to like a full 21 race calendar or anything like that, because, we are out of the country a little bit, we are doing all this, that and the other, and of course every week is slightly different, but I'm going to try my hardest, even if I sign up to a couple of leagues as reserves, and we are definitely going to be jumping in to some more competitive stuff again. And of course, I'll make sure I link it on the main channel, of course, when those videos do go live as well there. But just over 1 lap to go then of this race from the back of the grid. Felipe Dragovic, we've done pretty well today. I felt like we kept the nose clean. Apparently, Amory Cordial and the FIA deemed that to be slightly different, but, it is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, let's just wait and see, though, as I think it is still Jack Doohan leading the way. They're really, really excited to see what he can do next year in F2 as well. There's still talks if Logan Sargent gets a good enough finish to the year, he could be straight off and up into F1, but he's got to make sure he delivers in Abu Dhabi in just a few weeks' time there. But I can't believe we've only got a month left of Formula 1 in 2022 as well. There are 4 races to go. I think it is just, 5 weeks I want to say, of course, USGP this weekend, Mexico the weekend after that, and then we've got a break week, I think, before Brazil, and then one more break before Abu Dhabi. It might be a double-header, actually, if I remember off the top of my head. So, yeah, Formula 1 really coming towards the end of its season as well. You know, it has been quite a crazy and interesting year, of course. At the time of recording this, still don't know what's going to be going on with the Red Bull budget cap. I've seen so many interesting theories of ways they've tried to sort of cheat the system, if you will. But yeah, Dennis Hauger still about a second in front of me. I think these tyres not quite going off just yet, but we certainly haven't quite got the confidence over the AI that we had a bit earlier on in this race, as I picked up one warning heading out of the Bay section, I think you can still technically, or attempt to call it. I mean, there's some water down there now, based on the track conditions today, so at least I guess the Miami fans have got what they wanted in that regard. But can I try and get up to the back of Dennis Hauger through these final few corners of this race? That's a lot of curve once again there, so we've just got to try and fly over it, keep the car square, as we are going to be very, very close to Hauger out onto this back straight for the final time. Are we going to overtake a Red Bull backed car again in towards the final corner of the Miami Grand Prix? It's not quite for the win like we did in the My Team career mode a couple of weeks ago, but I'm absolutely going to send it here on the number 1 car, Dennis Hauger. We got yellow flags. I've got no idea what that's for. Are we going to get away with this move? Still, Teo Porcher has looped it around, so we are going to gain another place there, and I think he's broke down out of the final corner. We are going to come through for P12 in the end, but I think we might have got away with it because Porcher held up the other cars. No, it's only 40, but that'll do.
A great win then for the Virtuosi team today. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
What can I say? A condition like this, it's an incredible difficult drive, but they pulled off something truly special. They had the grip when they needed it. Every time they were able to find just the right line, and they had the confidence to put those things together and just push and push. That's what earned them this victory today.
Here are our podium drivers today. After that excellent race, they've excelled here as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Virtuosi then are on top today. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Felipe Drugovic. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
There will be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you'll join us at the next race when Formula 2 returns.
Well, at least we've still got Davide Valsecchi in the F2 career mode here for F1 at 22. But there we go then. Our first race with these cars. Jack Doohan takes home the win ahead of Liam Lawson and Jay Andaruvula there. Enzo Fittipaldi ahead of Sato and Iwasa there, with Vips, Vashaw, Sargent and Fred Vesti rounding out the top 10. But yeah, that was quite good fun. We accidentally ended up sort of killing 2 birds, 1 stone there, discussing, of course, all the other things going on with the channel at the moment. But of course, yeah, a massive thank you to all of you that have watched or made it this far into the video. If you're new around here, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will return, like I said, at the weekend. The F2 career mode is going to begin. Like I said, we'll be racing with, I think, someone I think you guys are all going to love. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back very, very soon with more F1 22 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.